All right, welcome to my two people that's in here, still building up this channel. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started on our topics for today. For those of y'all that's in the chat, go ahead and let me know how is my sound. Yo, my sound check. If I'm clear in the audio, go ahead and give me a 1 in the chat. All right, where we at? We've been out here 4 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and just get started. I got a couple people in here. Y'all ain't speaking, but it's all good. So, breaking news. I'm pretty sure the majority of y'all, if you are a fan of the NBA and you've been paying attention, we got very unfortunate news for the Golden State Warriors. Basically, it's not looking good. It's looking like their season might be over. And it's very, very unfortunate. Like for me, I am a Steph Curry fan, so it's really sad to see him have to go through this again. Like, he kind of already dealt with that with Klay Thompson, right? Then, of course, in 2019, he dealt with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant going down on him. It's like whenever it seems like there's kind of a window of hope for Steph to get a fifth title, something tragically happens. And like I said, it's very unfortunate. Jimmy Butler has been ruled out for the remainder of the season. Basically, he has a torn ACL. So, and then on top of that, to be honest, not only is this probably it for the Golden State Warriors, it might be it for Jimmy Butler's career because he's currently 36 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. So having a torn ACL for a 36-year-old is pretty much, it spells retirement. Like he's more than likely not going to come back himself. And then on top of that, the Warriors still owe him, I think, 56 million or something like that. I think he have a $56 million contract to opt in, which he's probably going to execute. Why wouldn't he? Because he's not going to opt out. Nobody else more than likely with him being 36. And, more than likely not going to come back as the same player. And then on top of that, Jimmy was cool, you feel me, this season, but he wasn't like showing a game changing. He wasn't a game changing factor. Like he was a good supporting role, right? Like a good number two, perhaps, maybe even a three at this point of his career, and so more than likely nobody else is gonna pick him up, at least not for a max contract. Now, if he decides he want to sign for the vet minimum, someone to sign him for that, I believe. Like he can find a team that'll sign him for a vet minimum. Like say he want to sign 2 years, 2 maybe 3 years, on that $5 million contract or something like that. But why would he do that when you got 56 million on the table from Golden State, right? It don't make sense. So more than likely he's gonna pick up that $50 million contract, sit out the remainder of the season, and pretty much fuck the Golden State Warriors. Like if I'm Golden State, I'm buying him out, which is more than likely that's what's gonna happen. It's not It's not personal, it's business. They're probably going to buy him out, which would, in my opinion, I think is the right move to go with because you basically have an aging star, that's not available and probably not going to even be the same, after he returns. And then on top of that, they in win now mode. Like Steph Curry isn't getting any younger. He's already 37 years old, and he's about to turn 38. And you know, uh, he's turning 38 years old. So yeah, not good news for Golden State Warriors, Golden State Warriors fans. I would love. Damn, ambulance. Y'all gonna have to excuse me for the ambulance. As you can see, I live downtown, and unfortunately, shit like that happens. But anyways, uh, if you are a Golden State Warriors fan, especially if I got any Golden State Warriors fans in the chat currently, definitely let me know what y'all think. What moves do y'all think Golden State should make currently with Jimmy Butler going down the way he did, or if you're just a fan of the game, just in your opinion, what would you do if you were Golden State? Would you trade? Um, would you buy out Jimmy Butler's contract? Like, because in my opinion, I absolutely would. Like, that's what I would do. I would buy out his contract. That way, coming into next year, you have that 56 million open that you can sign another big player. That's what I would do. Like, I'm not exactly sure what big players are available next year. Like, I know Giannis' contract is coming up. I don't know if it's this year or is it next. Now, he's been saying he's going to stay. But we've heard people say one thing and do the next all the time. And to be honest with you, the you know the Bucks not winning no time zone, so it might be the best bet for Giannis to go ahead and move to another team. But he might be loyal to the Sawyer the like the originals of the game. The players back in the day that stayed with the team that drafted them. He might do that, which there's nothing wrong with. He already has a title. He has a good resume. He's had a pretty good career. It all comes down to, does he want to win another championship? But yeah, Golden State Warriors, like I said, they need to buy Jimmy Butler out, find another suitable superstar to pair Steph Curry with before he's done. Steph Curry, like I said, he's 38 in May. He might have 2 good years left in him. He's aging well so far. Like he's not showing major signs of major decline yet, but he's pushing 40 now. So also, I think another thing that should be on the table, Golden State Warriors fans, definitely let me know what you think of this too. We know Jonathan Kuminga has been pushed out of rotation now. Like, I think I didn't watch all of the game yesterday. I wish I did, because if I did, I would have seen that Jimmy Butler got injured in the third quarter. I had prize picks, right? I had a good lineup. I was going to win it, actually. But Jimmy Butler got injured, and I didn't know it. And they gave me a cash out option of $250, right? And I was going for, I think, 600 something. And if I would have known Jimmy Butler was injured, he got injured in the third, I would have just taken it, because I ended up only getting fucking $8 now. But anyways, that's not to get too sidetracked, but yeah. You got Jonathan Kuminga. That's, he's a pretty good player. I still don't understand why Steve Kerr refused to play him. Like, it really doesn't make any sense for him to just not play someone that can easily be a 15 to 20 points per game scorer. And then this is the thing also, if you're not going to play him, trade him to a suitable team that will play him. and then try to get some assets for him. Now, the way they've been not playing them, his trade value is probably not too high, though. That's the unfortunate part for them right now. So the question on the table now should be, do you trade Jonathan Kuminga and try to get a good piece back for him? Like maybe trade Jonathan Kuminga and throw in another player. Like I know they pretty attached to Brandon Brzezinski, but I don't know. Maybe you should consider putting him up in a package to try to get another suitable player. I mean, that is trading away young asset. You got to think about that. You do have to think about the future, but let's be real. Is Brandon Brzezinski going to be your future? I don't think so. So go ahead and package him. If you're not going to play Kuminga and you don't think he can be the future of your franchise, trade Jonathan Kuminga and maybe, at first initially for me, I thought a good replacement for the Jimmy going down like this could be they could go after Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, the Warriors. I remember when I pitched this to a couple of people. One guy was telling me that the Warriors need size and rebounding, and of course, Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't a good rebounder. I agree there, but here's the thing. Also, Jimmy Butler wasn't a great rebounder either. So pretty much you're trying to replace what you lost. You're not necessarily, trying to go for something that you didn't have. At least I don't think that's the Warriors' plan. So Jaren Jackson, he brings some scoring. He certainly gives you more rim protection, which is something that you never had. Like the Warriors haven't had rim protection in quite a while now, to be honest with you. And Jaren Jackson is one of those bigs that can spread the floor, which Golden State tends to like. You know how Steve Kerr loves to play the small ball lineup and put in bigs that can stretch the floor. So Jaren Jackson can do that for you. However, here's another thing. Somebody else pitched to me, the same guys, and he said the Warriors should go after Michael Porter Jr. Now, that possibly could be a good trade because that brings you another legit scorer. Contrary to what the Nikola Jokic fans were trying to push to you that Michael Porter Jr. can't score, he has to be set up by Jokic. We figured that out since he's been with the Nets, and that's false. Right? So we maybe they could go after Michael Porter Jr. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to provide much to them as far as the defensive side. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not too familiar with how well of a defender Porter Jr. is. I didn't pay close attention to him like that, but to my knowledge, he's not a great defender. I don't know if I'll say he's a bad one, but he's not a great one. So he won't help them as far as the defensive side of the table, but he absolutely can provide another option as far as scoring. Because they definitely need that with Jimmy go. Unfortunately, he's not a person that can draw fouls well, like, Jimmy can do, which is a luxury to have when your team is struggling. So, yeah, this is really, really bad. It's not looking good at all for the Golden State Warriors. And like I said, I feel really bad for Steph Curry because pretty much in order for them to even make the playoffs, they would have to drive him into the ground, What's good, Joe Montgomery? Pretty much Steph Curry will have to kind of go into God mode just to pull them into the playoffs. And even if he does, they're not going to obviously win unless they're able to work some magic and be able to bring in a suitable star that can pair up with Steph Curry and make a run. Because me personally, I truly believe that if Steph Curry didn't get injured against the Wolves, I think the Golden State Warriors could have won the title last year. And Steph Curry could all but pretty much after that, I think you gotta say it's Steph Curry's era by far, and it's really no comparison. Because you know how these false narratives and these LeBron clowns been lying, saying this is LeBron's era and he's the GOAT and all this dumb shit. With Steph Curry winning 5 rings on LeBron's watch, there's no way you can legitimately push that anymore unless you just flat out delusional, which his fan base is. And speaking of the LeBron James fan base, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So now we're going to go ahead and cover LeBron James not being an all-star. Now this one right here is good. So I know a lot of y'all know, and of course the LeBron fanboys not happy about this because they very delusional. They want to keep lying for their fans. He said not only are they delusional, they gay. Hey, I think I call them, I ain't gonna lie, I call them fruity people a lot all the time myself. So you feel because they just say the weirdest things that men just shouldn't say, and it makes me question them. You feel me? But I'm not gonna go too deep up in that. But anyways, like I said, LeBron James has been named not an NBA starter for the first time in 21 years. He had 21 consecutive years of being an NBA All-Star starter. And that ends this year. And to be honest with you, it should have been ended. But I know the delusional fans, the blind witnesses, as Skip Bayless called them, would say different. But at the same time, we have to consider that this is fan-based voting when it comes to the NBA starters. And speaking of the fans, which is what considers whether or not you're an all-star or not, that's the reason LeBron James is an all-star starter this year. And then I've noticed that the LeBron James fan, they love to hate on players that's better than him. They'll never admit it, of course, because they flustered in their own delusion. But Steph Curry is better than him. They know it deep down in their career. They know it. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit more in the next topic. But that's why every time Steph Curry accomplished something, they want to hate on it, or if he lose or say he has a bad game or something, they want to bring it up because they love to attack players that they know are better than LeBron deep down in they souls. That's why they attack Kobe. That's why they attack Jordan, players that they know are better than him. But anyways, he's not a starter, but he still could be considered and reserve. And this is very interesting because in my opinion, I don't think he deserves to be in the All-Star at all. He doesn't deserve it at all. And it's fun. It's funny because a LeBron James fanboy told me that Steph Curry doesn't deserve to be a starter over Anthony Edwards. And he posted the stats of Steph Curry and Anthony Davis. And of course, the Timberwolves have a better record currently than the Golden State Warriors. And judging from that injury that we just saw from Jimmy, that's not going to change, right? But what these idiots doesn't understand is the starters are considered by the fans. It has nothing to do with how well your production is. So that's first thing for the LeBron clowns. And then this is the craziest part. They didn't keep that same energy when it came to LeBron James being an all-star starter in 2002 in 2022 and 2023. And on top of that, not only was he a starter, he was the captain. Because you remember that's when they were doing that team LeBron versus team, or the two captains of the East and the West, right? So this is the thing. They had a losing record that year against, when they was when he was the captain. So you're talking about Steph Curry don't deserve to be a starter over Ant because they got a better record and he has better stats. But you can say the same thing about LeBron James in 2022. Yet he was a starter and you guys didn't say anything. But it's just biasness and pure hatred because that's what they do. But anyways, I think it's left up to the coaches now to decide whether or not LeBron is even in reserve because he's currently in the running for an All-Star, but he hasn't been guaranteed a spot. Like the fanboys are saying, oh, he's going to be a reserve though, so he's still an All-Star. That's not necessarily true. He could be, he could very much not make it. Now, do I think the NBA are going to pull some strings and let him in? Absolutely. I hope they don't, but I believe they will. So, what I think should happen is they go ahead and be honest, let somebody else get in that deserves to be in, that deserves to be an all-star. Like, I'm not sure if Jamal Murray is a guaranteed starter yet. I mean, reserve yet, but he absolutely should be. There's a lot of people just having breakout, seasons that deserve to be in the All-Star game this year, especially after that atrocious and egregious stunt that LeBron pulled last year, stopping Norman Powell from making the All-Star game last year by waiting until 2 hours before game time of the All-Star game to let people know he's not playing because his bum ass ankle hurting. He deliberately did that. Yeah, a lot of ugly ass niggas would try to say, we don't know that we reaching. But if you follow this guy's career, he deliberately did that because he's an attention whore. He loves to make everything about him. And he did that to make sure he got all the acknowledgement. Folks were like, oh, LeBron's not playing. So the fans showed you this year. Like, okay, you going to keep not playing on this. We're going to not vote for your ass at all. And on top of that, he doesn't deserve to. I don't give a fuck about his bullshit overrated numbers. His numbers not all that impressive this year anyways. But they're inflated anyways. It's nothing but stat pattern, playing bum-ass teams. That's how he keeps getting into these All-Star games too. If y'all notice, conveniently, every year, the Lakers have a very easy schedule. They have a very easy schedule, so that way he can bully on these weak teams before All-Star break and look like, oh, LeBron deserves to be an All-Star. So he gets in. Well, the actual truth is this nigga does not deserve to be in. He's a stat pattern clown, and he needs to fucking retire. But anyways, though, y'all definitely let me know what y'all think. Should LeBron James be an all-star this year? Now, I will give him a little bit more credit on this, to be fair. They do have a new format this year, right? The new format is the United States versus the world, I think, basically FIBA players or, international players. And it kind of would be a little crazy to have, Team USA and LeBron not being a part of it. It would be a little weird, but hey, it is what it is. And then on top of that, not only could he possibly miss the All-Star game because and they got a new format. Also is currently this year is going to be in Los Angeles where he plays at. So he's a Los Angeles Laker, right? The All-Star game is going to be here. and he doesn't make the All-Star game, that's going to be very sad. What the fuck is this man talking about? Said this is now a dedicated Donald Trump stream. The fuck are you talking about? This shit ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. Anyways, like I said, anybody want to, if anybody wants to let me know what they think about LeBron James not making the All-Star starter or, possibly not even making the reserve, definitely let me know. I see I got nobody that wants to actual comment. It's crazy. It's people in here, but y'all glad just not commenting. Y'all is hell out here. But I guess I'm not gonna be too long with it today because but what kind of fruity shit are you on, bro? Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to this next topic. We're gonna go ahead and discuss Steph Curry being better than LeBron James, people. I think you asked me, this should have been at a discussion, and I'm starting to see, more and more sports analysts, of course, the independent space, been talking about it outside of the LeBron infested delusional clowns that are paid unclutched sports, agents that's just been lying for him year in and year out. Steph Curry being better than LeBron James is a real conversation, despite what these idiots are saying that thinks it's disrespectful to even mention Steph better than him. Well, let's just go ahead and look at the resume. Come on. Like this, let's just put it all on the table. And I challenge any LeBron fans. I challenge any LeBron sexual. Name the one thing that LeBron James is better than Steph Curry at that doesn't have anything to do with total stats and his physical size for the most part, making him better than him at it. I'll give you a few examples of what I'm saying. Bro, I'm about to get your ass up out of here. Like that, I don't know what kind of homo shit you got. I got to get some moderators for this damn channel. This is crazy. Matter of fact, you helping my algorithm. Go ahead and talk to yourself. Anyways, so basically what I'm saying with the Steph Curry thing, being better than LeBron, we basically have I think we have a real debate when it comes to this. Because like I said, there's nothing that you can say that LeBron James is better than him outside of what his physical size allows him to have an advantage over. And then even with that, if you do it pound for pound, he's not better than him at that. So let's see. You got Steph Curry is let's go with the things that LeBron, you can argue he's better than him at. Like I'm sure Brian Sessions would love to say, "Oh, he's a better rebounder," but is he really pound for pound? Like if you think about it, matter of fact, let me go ahead and check this. What is both of them's rebounds per career rebounds per game? Let me look up LeBron's first, then I'll look at Steph Curry's. Okay. 1 second to go ahead and pull it up. Now, as you can see, LeBron James for his career is a 7.5 rebounds per game for his career. 7.5 for LeBron James. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Steph Curry. And actually, Steph is a pretty good, yeah. So he's almost at 5 rebounds per game for his career, right? Steph Curry is actually a pretty good rebounder for his career, right? So pound for pound, if you really think about it, you got Steph Curry with 5 rebounds per game. So pretty much LeBron gets about 2.5, almost 3, I guess you could say. Almost 3 rebounds more per game for his career than Steph. But like I said, LeBron is 6'9", Steph Curry is more so like 6'2". He has a huge height advantage. And with his position, he should get more rebounds. But if you do it pound for pound, they're close to they're about even. It's about a push pound for pound. Because if you compare LeBron rebounding to other great rebounders in his position, they're far better rebounders than LeBron. But you won't find a bunch of point guards that Steph Curry's size that are better rebounders than Steph Curry. So that's what I mean by things that his physical size doesn't give him advantage over. You feel me? Like, so in my opinion, the rebounding is a push. I could even, to be honest with you, I could even make a strong argument that Steph Curry, pound for pound, is the better rebounder. And then I know Brian Sessions would probably love to try to say he's better at passing, and that's another myth. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull up their career numbers at assists. This is Steph Curry's. So as for his career, Steph Curry is a 6.3 assists per game player for his career. So about 6 assists per game. LeBron James only gets about 7.1, if I'm not mistaken, something around that range. $7.4. Gotcha. So he gets about 1 assist more than Steph Curry. And then here's the thing. Now, UglyAzzNiggas would love to say, AKA Brian Sessions, would love to say, well, that means he's better. No, it does not, UglyAzzNiggas. It means LeBron usage rate is, for one thing, LeBron's usage rate is way higher, far higher than Steph Curry. Steph Curry doesn't dominate the ball like that. Like if I looked up usage rate right now, you would see LeBron is way higher than Steph Curry. But yeah, he only gets 1 assist more. And then on top of that, you clowns love to push the narrative that he's passed first. So he has that much usage rate. He only gets 7 assists per game. And then on top of that, he's a 27 career points per game scorer. So 27 points per game for his career, but he's passed first, and he only gets 7 assists. Make it make sense, UglyAzzNiggas. And then let's go ahead and look at that usage rate. See if they can pull that up. So it said LeBron James has maintained an elite high volume career usage rate of approximately 31.3% to 31.4% across his NBA career, ranking among the top 10 highest in NBA history. So basically, for 30-some% of the game, LeBron James has the ball in his hands, people. That is incredible. So pretty much, if you have the ball in your hand all the time, you should get more assists, especially with them pushing the narrative that he's passed first, right? We all know that he's not. We know everybody thinks that's fucking clowns, but that's the bullshit that they're pushing. Now let's look at Steph Curry's usage rate. You're not going to see nowhere near the high as high, and yet Steph Curry is still averaging only one less assist. The high 20s to low 30s range, frequently exceeding 30%. His MVP caliber season, including 34% rate doing. Either way, he that nigga has the ball. LeBron has the ball in his hands way more. He's always holding it. So we know Steph. We ain't got to look at plus minus. We know Steph Curry is way higher than LeBron at that. We know, but here's another thing that I want to put up. That's a huge factor in this: turnovers. And then I forgot to put career for that with Steph Curry's, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. So Steph Curry for his career has about 3 turnovers per game. For his career, 3 turnovers per game. That's not that bad. It's not great, obviously, but it's definitely not that bad. You know, it's not the upper echelon of turnover kings. Like, unlike this clown we about to see right now. For his career, LeBron James turns the ball over 3.5 more, have 3.5 turnovers per game for his career. So actually, especially towards the back of these last couple of years, nearly turning the ball over 4 times per game. Now, these ass niggas may be saying that ain't that much. That's massive, actually. And we all know he's the king. He's by far the totals turnover king. So this is the thing. He turns the ball over about just as much as he assisted. He has 7 career assists. He turns the ball over assists. But I mean, you can say the same for Steph Curry. So virtually, what I'm saying is, it's closer to the same. Although you would love to try to say LeBron is the better passer. Now we all know who impacts the game more. That's clearly Steph Curry because he wins way more at a higher level with less help. LeBron has had the most career help of any superstars in his career. And what's good, C Motion? Was Westbrook a great rebounder when the centers and power forwards all ran away from the rebounds? I'm guessing you alluding to that Westbrook was a stat pattern, but I mean I would agree with you. Russ is absolutely a stat pattern. So um, I'm about to get this nigga up out of here. I tried to keep this nigga, but you with this Fruity Loop shit. I gotta get your ass up out of here. Anyways, but yeah, I mean Russ did do some stat pattern, but either way, Russ still, even with the stat pattern, a great rebounder. Like I think that's kind of undeniable. But But yeah, so the passing thing really is the only thing you kind of can really make a real debate and say, okay, LeBron's a better passer than Steph Curry, and it's something that is decisive. But in my opinion, Steph Curry is the better scorer. Like if you say, oh, I need somebody to go get me a bucket, no one's looking at LeBron and say, oh, LeBron, we need a bucket, go get it for us. Only delusional clowns, like probably this guy that's saying "look go" in my chat right now, knowing this clown is not a go, would think the best idea is to give the ball to LeBron. LeBron's teammates have bailed him out time and time again throughout his career. Steph Curry don't let his teammates bail him out. He does it himself, like all the other greats. And then the biggest example recently of how we know that this that's the case in the Olympics. When the game was on the line and France was making a run, Steve Kerr ran a play for Steph Curry. And Kevin Durant was giving the ball to Steph. He gave the ball to Steph when they needed a bucket. He didn't get that shit to, LeBron. LeBron was open too. That's the crazy part. He didn't even look LeBron's way because he knew where it was up. LeBron is not that guy when it comes to shit like that. And this is no disrespect. I'm not saying that LeBron's not great. He absolutely is. But he's not who y'all say he is. He got a player that played in his own era that is better than him. But y'all trying to claim that he's the GOAT. And even let's just say that he's not. Let's just say that Steph Curry is not better than him. The fact that there's even an argument should let you guys know that this nigga is not the GOAT. Do you think Donovan Mitchell is better than Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown? Oh shit. I mean, I think all of them that's pretty close, but to be honest with you, Jaylen Brown plays better defense than the other two. And Jaylen Brown has a finals MVP with a championship on his head. So I'm gonna get a slight edge. I'm gonna give Jaylen Brown the edge over him. And I also think Jaylen Brown is kind of underrated because of him playing with Jason Tatum, and you kind of seeing some of that this year with Jason Tatum being out, how good Jaylen Brown really is. And then you know what's crazy? It's actually a lot of that going on this year. A lot of players are getting exposed because these other players that they've been constantly pushing these narratives saying that these players aren't that good. They only as good as, whoever the superstar player on their team takes them. It's just bullshit. They're false narratives. Like to give you a few examples of that, they've been trying to push that with Nikola Jokic, and look, he got injured, and look how well the Denver Nuggets are playing without him. So that proves that they did have talent on their team, which I always felt they did. They just love to push that bullshit narrative, overrating Jokic more to be better than what he is. And then this is another thing. This to go ahead and be clear about it. Nikola Jokic is great, but he is not as good as they're trying to make him out to be. It's a false narrative. And then, of course, they did it for LeBron throughout his entire career almost. Keep lines like the teammates aren't that good, and they need him to carry them in order for them to make it somewhere. It's bullshit. And they wanted to do it this year. That's the reason why LeBron sat out with that bullshit sciaticus injury. He was hoping the team failed and he can come back and you notice he came back against a weak ass team like he always does. And he was hoping to help them win once that happened, and he can push the narrative, oh, the team ain't nothing without LeBron. But it backfired on him. Just like the Nikola Jokic people that's been trying to claim the team's no good with him. It's backfiring on them. And for the people that used to talk down on Jaylen Brown, with Jason Tatum being out, people are able to see how good he really is. Yeah, MJ is clearly the GOAT. His total stats just a byproduct of high pick and roll action 24/7. He never played off ball in a system like Detroit. Facts. And that's another indictment on LeBron James that separates Steph Curry and LeBron. Steph Curry, you can put him in any system and he can thrive. You put him in a triangle offense, he can easily play in a triangle offense because Steph Curry plays exceptionally well off ball. In fact, I can make a very strong argument. Now, people might give me some pushback about this, but I think I can make a very strong argument that Steph Curry could be the greatest off-ball player of all time, perhaps. And the reason why I say that is because of that gravitational pull that he has. Like how he breaks down the defense so well by just moving in rotation and the defense being so concerned about him that he's opening it up for his teammates. Now, of course, other great players such as Mike, Kobe, and them that played in the triangle offense, they could do the same, but they couldn't do it to the same extent that Steph does it because they couldn't stretch the floor as far as Steph could stretch it. So if they're running high screen pick and roll far like 30 feet out, which Steph Curry is capable of hitting that shot consistently from that distance, now the defense, when they're trying to come in and go over the screens and shit like that, they got to be so far out that they're out of reach of the other shooters. And pretty much at this point, is all you got to do is knock down the shot. Like his out, and then of course you turn your head for a split second, boom, he gone. He backdooring you. Like he understands the off-ball play very well. And I think Steph Curry has very high basketball IQ. They push this narrative about how high LeBron's IQ is, but you see a lot of things that makes you question his IQ. And on top of that, he's very selfish. He's very selfish. LeBron cares more about his stats than he does his teammates. You will never see Steph Curry doing it. Steph Curry doesn't chase stats. Now, if he sees that he has a chance to hit a milestone, will he go for it? Absolutely. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. If Steph Curry know he has 13 three-pointers in the game, he's going to try to, let's say they're up, they're up pretty handily, and he has 13 threes. He may stay in the game long enough to go ahead and hit that. No. Let's say he got 14 threes because the record is 14, which is held by his former teammate, Klay Thompson. And let's say they up 20 with 4 minutes left. Typically, he'll sit out the rest of that game, right? But let's say if he got 14 threes, he might stay in long enough and try and get that last three-pointer to break the record. That's something he might do. But what I mean is, if they're up 30 and he can have 5 points, Steph Curry is sitting out the remainder of the fourth quarter. That's what he does. He does not chase stats. He don't give a damn about that. LeBron James, absolutely no way he sits out. We know this because December 1st of last year, sorry, I forgot the New Year's here now. December 1st of last year, playing against my Phoenix Suns, this dude stayed in the game with 4 minutes left. They down 27 points. He had 6 points. He stat padded his way to get that 10 points to keep that bullshit streak going so that he can say, oh, he had his 10 points. That stat padding at its finest, and there's no other way to describe it. Then on top of that, more examples of how selfish he is. This dude would go up to the line and shoot the technical free throws. LeBron James knows he's not a good free throw shooter. And then when they asked him about it at the press conference, he's gonna say he didn't think nothing was wrong with it. Like he said he know Luka is capable of hitting big free throw, big shots down the stretch. But I would have been okay with either one of us doing it. Nigga, you're not good down the stretch at all, first off. And you damn sure not good at free throws down the stretch. So why the fuck would you walk your bum ass up? Matter of fact, that was against my sons too. This is the game they cheated us on to help them win. But yeah, he went to the line and shot the technical free throw and fucking missed it. He could have cost them the game if they didn't cheat for them and give him 3 free throws after that. He missed one of them and made 2. Like, this is the selfish nature of LeBron James that Steph Curry would never do. Steph Curry shoots the technical free throws, sure. But guess what? Steph Curry is the greatest free throw shooter of all time, so he should. There's the difference. The unselfish nature of Steph Curry is when Kevin Durant was on the team, he allowed Kevin Durant to go ahead and flourish. You know, a lot of narratives were being saying, oh, Steph Curry, you needed Kevin Durant to save you. Oh, he got all the finals. Now, did Steph Curry want that last finals MVP in 2018? Yes, he did. Absolutely. He was trying his best to get it. I will point that out. That's obvious. But my point is that he's not stat padding games to make sure he gets his numbers all the time. He doesn't do that. If they're down 30, he comes out the game. If they're up 30, he comes out the game. If it's the fourth quarter, he doesn't do that. His total stats. Oh yeah, we just read it. You said you nailed it. He commands so much attention without the ball. I ain't never seen LeBron do that. I could also argue Kobe and Jordan had the same effect. Like I said, they had the same effect, sure. They did because they both demanded so much attention. But the difference that kind of separates them is that Mike and Kobe couldn't scratch the floor as far as Steph Curry could. So his teammates be wide the hell open because they gotta, trap or try to force the ball out of his hand at such a far distance that they're nowhere near their man. But anyways, though, I'm gonna go ahead and head on to the close. We're gonna get ready to close this thing out. I know a lot of y'all came in a little later, but y'all can kind of touch on some of the ones that I touched on early if you want to about the Golden State Warriors season potentially being over because of Jimmy Butler. In case y'all don't know it, has been ruled out for the remainder of the season. He has, he pretty much tore his ACL last night. Very unfortunate. And I pretty much was saying that I think Golden State should potentially consider buying Jimmy out and looking for another superstar or, star caliber player so they can free up that money for next year. And if I'm Jimmy, I'm taking that player out so I can get that 50 million because no other team is going to give him that. Let's just be real. He's 36 years of age and he just had an ACL injury. That doesn't look good. And then, of course, LeBron not being an all-star this year. I mean, he's already confirmed to not be an all-star starter. But we're waiting to see will he make it as an all-star reserve. Pretty much the media has already said no. The players has already said no. So it's up to the coaches to basically come together and decide whether or not they pick LeBron as an all-star reserve. And it's going to look really bad for him to not make the all-star game the year that the all-star weekend is, hosted in LA where he currently plays. And then, of course, lastly, y'all just heard that segment, the Steph versus LeBron, debate. It would have been nice if some Bron Sexers were to come in here and try to debate me about it, because I would absolutely obliterate them. But unfortunately, I got very limited fanboys. Maybe they up in the bigger channels live trying to ride LeBron nuts there. But either way, pretty much, this live ain't supposed to have been too long. Anyways, I currently we're basically approaching the hour mark, and definitely going to be doing a lot more lives and videos on this channel. So be in tune, stay tuned for that. And I appreciate the little people that came through to rock with me. Make sure you continue to stop through and stuff. Like I said, you're gonna be seeing a whole lot more of me now on this channel. Planning on building this one up. But until the next live, people, I'm gonna holler at y'all.